Welcome back, everybody, to our YouTube channel here at Vnzo AEC. Long story short, we are a marketing and branding agency for architects, engineers, and contractors, or people in the commercial construction space. And today I've got a little bit of a different episode. I conduct a lot of interviews and I have a lot of discussions with AEC firms, and I've noticed a couple trends. And normally when I sit down with the firm for the first time, I ask them a specific set of questions to understand what working together would look like. And I've been doing this for a couple years now, and I've compiled a research study. So today we're going to go over some of the results, and I'm going to talk to you about some of the trends I'm seeing with these different firms. So out of the research, there are really three different areas that there were some pretty unique trends from. So we've broken it down into brand positioning, general marketing, and then website. And so with each, I'm going to go through, I'm going to share a couple of interesting little facts or stats. We're going to break it down a little bit. I'm going to talk about maybe why that is, and then I'm going to talk about what to actually do about those different things. So first and foremost, we'll start with brand positioning. And it's a little bit of a loose term, but basically brand positioning is differentiating your firm in the market and doing so in a meaningful way. So a couple of different examples would be, as a general contractor, some may put out some insights or some education. So an example might be, hey, we are the only general contractor that builds relationships through education. Or if we're a construction management firm and we help small business owners get funding to actually build something, that might be a unique positioning in the marketplace. Another form of positioning might be a specific focus. I'm an architect that only builds dealerships, or I'm an engineer that only works with airports. Those are all different versions of positioning. So the big standout fact here is, of the 25 firms that participated in this, only about 24% are actually confident in their own positioning, which is really, really interesting. And really here in the Twin Cities, whether you're a general contractor, architect, there's a lot of competing for the same work. And when that happens, it's pretty difficult to stand out. And if you don't have a specific positioning, you look and feel a lot like your competitors, and this makes it really difficult to win new work. And I feel like if you're able to help define what makes your firm different than others, you're gonna win more work. So you're probably wondering, okay, Andrew, this whole positioning thing, how would I actually do this for my firm? Shameless plug, we can help you do it, but that's not what you're here for. You probably want some action items. So I would start with client surveys and or in-depth interviews. Ask your clients and your industry partners what makes you different. And a lot of times they'll tell you. And you can do it firsthand, and hopefully they'll give you truthful and honest answers. Otherwise, you can hire a third party to get answers that are a little bit more blunt and maybe a little bit more truthful. And I'd say lastly, when it comes to positioning, don't be afraid to take a risk. You don't want to focus so much that you lose out on different types of work, but instead start to think of where you want the firm to be in a couple years' time. A number of years ago when I started Vnzo, a marketing firm, we were undifferentiated. We were just another digital marketing firm. And time again, we saw that our solutions worked really well with commercial contractors, and eventually we niched. At that point in time, we didn't just come out and say, hey, we're doing AEC only. We believed it internally, and we focused on that category or that specific type of work, and we really kind of chose a size 12 shoe to grow into. So with positioning, it takes time. It can be frustrating and scary, but it's definitely something that can help you win more bids and be seen as meaningfully different in the eyes of your target market. All right, so for brand positioning, what did we talk about? We talked about the standout facts. We talked about why it matters, differentiation, win percentage. We talked about what to do about it. Let's jump into the next topic. So the standout fact here is 39% of firms are making it a goal to drive new business via marketing. Let's break that down for a second. So in this industry, there's no question about the importance of new business development, networking, trade shows, a lot of the boots on the ground type strategies, and those are absolutely effective. However, The caveat is that a lot of times that's tied to one or two or maybe three key individuals that are bringing in that revenue for the business. And for bigger firms that have multiple project managers who also do that type of work, the same thing applies. So when you start to place an emphasis on marketing, visibility, people reaching out, referrals, things of that nature, it's less dependent on a few key relationships or key stakeholders within your firm. If you're going to go to market and you're going to try to build your brand's visibility, it's good to build that on something that's unique. So that's why brand positioning is so important. But really you want to be thoughtful on what channels you're going to show up on. So for example, on social media, and I could talk about this literally all day, a lot of firms show up this same exact way. They're all on LinkedIn, which is great. And when a new project is completed, there's a couple of nice finished, polished images of the project, 2 sentences, and kudos to whoever was involved. Let's take that to the next level. Let's tell the project story. Let's go on site. Let's share a behind-the-scenes fact. Maybe we'll do a client testimonial and hear from the owner of the business what it was like working with your firm. Let's try to show up differently on a channel like social media. And I'd say another piece too is getting your team involved. I think it's good when you have your team share company posts, but maybe you have a few key individuals pump out thought leadership pertaining to their area of expertise. Like if you're a principal that is focusing in healthcare construction, encouraging that person to create a post or 2 a month about some of the trends they're seeing. Taking it to that next level, trying to show up differently on social media, I think is one critical element. So that's social media, but another big part of marketing for AEC firms is how your website shows up online. We're gonna get to websites specifically in a second, but I wanna talk about what's called SEO. And it's a controversial topic, and I meet with a lot of AEC firm owners. Some people are sold on it, some are not. And as a provider of a service, I can tell you the ROI is unbelievable. We've worked with a number of general contractors, engineering firms, and people are searching for your services, and they're searching for different types of construction, and it's important that you show up. And the more you show up, the more inquiries you will get, and the higher your ROI will be. That's the short and skinny. So with SEO, there's an element of putting out thought leadership and articles and blogs. There's also the on-site technical work, there's keyword research, but ultimately having a scope of work at your firm or somebody designated to the success of your online visibility is really critical. And if you don't believe me, go check out our website, check out some of the clients we've worked with and we've been able to produce incredible return for. Okay, so we talked about social media, we talked about SEO, and just for even more broad types of marketing like trade shows or, whether not so much billboards, maybe branding, for example, I'd say the last thing is to just show up differently, try to do something that's unique and that will get people talking, and feel free to push boundaries. So if it's a trade show, make your colors super vibrant, or you bring some sort of attraction that will have everybody talking. Just try to be meaningful and have intent at those types of events and with those types of marketing. Okay, so we've touched on brand positioning, we've touched on general forms of marketing, social media, SEO, trade shows, that type of thing. Let's jump into website. So the standout facts are 80% of firms are not confident or neutral about the effectiveness of their website. And the other standout fact is 68% of firms feel there is an opportunity to improve their website. Not really a shocker. I feel like a lot of firms in this industry, their websites could use improvements when it comes to user experience and navigating the website. I think visually, a lot of them are pretty bland or predictable. So showing up meaningfully with a website is a huge opportunity. So why does it matter? Websites are your digital storefront. It's where people go to view your work, who works there, what you're talking about, your relevance. So when people land there and your website looks just like the 2 or 3 competitors you're competing against for some new work, it's not doing you any favors. So I definitely feel like there are a couple of different key areas that you can improve your website with. Step one, make it easy for users to find your work. And we see it quite a bit, and I think it could be improved, but just having a little work tab at the top isn't really the greatest. Maybe having a drop down of your different market sectors or areas of focus, that can be useful. Also ensuring that the messaging resonates. If you do any surveys with clients, like we talked about for brand positioning, you can ask them what their challenges are, why they're hiring your firm, and recording some of those responses and lacing those throughout your site from a messaging perspective, whether it's taglines or headers or sections. Hire us to make your life easy, or just different little tidbits to make it feel like you're listening. That's incredibly impactful. One quick little exercise, and I may have touched on it earlier, but go pick 3 of your top competitors, pull up their websites in different tabs, and then pull yours up. And now compare and contrast. So when you're competing for that new office build out, that new TI project, new multifamily housing unit, and the owner or the investor is looking at your website versus other people's websites, what are they seeing? And if yours isn't clearly different, or in kind of a blunt term, better than your competitors, it's not really doing you any favors. And so if we take that example of project portfolios or showcasing your work to the next level, let's take a look at one project portfolio. Most of the time it's a gallery with a couple images and maybe a short block of text, if that. Sometimes we'll see just a page of work and it's just a picture with a caption. So make sure you have individual project portfolios, and let's think a little bit beyond a couple of photographs for each project portfolio. Let's try to get a testimonial in there. Let's hear from the client what it was like to work with you. Let's incorporate that. Let's link out to the project partners. So if you're a GC, you likely worked with an architect. You probably worked with a furniture company. Let's tag those people on that page as well. So in totality, we talked about brand positioning, some of the trends there. We talked a little bit about just general marketing, whether it's social media, thought leadership, SEO, and then we ended with a website. So these are a lot of different areas you should be thinking about as a firm owner or a marketing manager or what have you, in improving your visibility online, boosting your presence, and really showcasing how you're different. So with that said, this is the video version. We actually have a full write-up on our website, which will be in the description below. Please go check that out. It's a lot more concrete than a few bullet points on a list here. So yeah, we strongly encourage you to go check that out. If you have questions about taking your firm to the next level when it comes to marketing, branding, strategy, what have you, feel free to reach out. And please subscribe. If you like this type of content, if you want to see some behind the scenes of some of the projects our clients are working on, that's also here on our channel. Yeah, that's all we got. So thanks for tuning in.